amazing, but sometimes demons even inspire people to write books.
Oh, wow. Right into this, are we? Okay, cool. Sometimes demons inspire people to write books. Well, good on them. I mean, writing a book is really difficult. So anyone that can motivate you to just buckle down and get that shit done is a bit of a hero in my book. It would be nice if they helped me, but no. All I wanted to do was write a book on the taste of every whiskey on earth. But for some reason, around the research phase, I black out and eventually wake up on a cocoa farm in Ghana. I assume Mrs. Sick asked for chocolate at some point and I went a little bit too far with it.
In fact, some books today are written by demons.
Oh my God. Is that title card going to be there for the entire video? Oh shit, it really is. But why? No, can't have that. It's just, no. Look, there we go. That's more like it. At least that gives the impression of someone talking to us instead of hiding in the corner from the giant killer words. And literally for no other reason did I pick that specific pose.
You may have read one.
What, a book written by a demon, or like a book? Well, of course not. As my hero, and definitely not total moron Andrew Tate said, books make you stupid. So I have never and will never read any books in the ever, not even the one I'm writing, because checking for errors and doing second drafts is for cowards.
There is a woman by the name of Taylor Caldwell who's written some books.
She did what? How dare she? Everybody knows that people who write books are the worst people ever. Yes, that includes me. But seriously, those book writers are just show-offs. I mean, I thought there were only 63 words, but apparently there's way more. I think they're just making some of them up, personally.
Only she didn't write them. Demons wrote them.
Holy shit, you aren't just being poetic, are you? You mean demons literally wrote some fucking books. How do you even respond to that? I mean, aside from the fact that demons don't reel, I'm pretty sure they don't even speak the language of humans. So who exactly is translating these books? How do you know they aren't completely ruining the point and making the demonic message completely incomprehensible? Oh shit, was the Bible written by demons? Because that would explain a lot.
She's written one called Dear and Glorious Physician, and another called Dialogues with the Devil.
Well, those do sound like books that someone has written, and wouldn't you know, they have. Isn't that just peachy keen? Although, they don't sound like, very good books. And yes, I am judging a book by its cover. Those books look fucking boring. I mean, I bet there isn't even any explosions in them. And I'll bet dollars to donuts there's only a mediocre car chase at best.
Both of these books sound Christian.
Do they? I mean, sure, the first one, Kay maybe, although let's be fair, it could also just be a really fucking mint surgeon guy who goes around solving mysteries with a talking goat sidekick, using all his doctor tools to get to the heart of the matter. Get it? $1 million idea, that. And the second one just sounds like literally the opposite of something a Crimsbian would want to do. I mean, I don't know if you know this, Mr. Preacherman, but the devil is kind of the bad guy. Like, really bad. I'm surprised you haven't heard of him.
But are demonic. She says the material came from another source. It flooded her. She doesn't know where it came from.
Oh, fuck off. Every writer says something to that effect. Oh, I just don't know where I get my ideas from. I guess I'm just blessed with all this genius from above. Or some shit like that. It's not true. It came from her fucking brain. That's where everything written down comes from. Well, not her specifically, but at least at some point, that's how writing f***ing works.
She said demons followed her all around.
Well then, she was either lying about it, using it in order to increase her mystique, so that other people thought she was windswept and interesting, or she was the technical term, one that my therapist keeps referring to me as, f***ing bananas. But to be completely fair to the man, that is mostly because I f*** bananas.
Recently, Jess Stern, a psychic investigator, took her into hypnosis.
Wow, if Jeff Stern, the psychic investigator, did it, it must be totally legit. When they back up their fucking ludicrous claims, they bring out a fucking ludicrous charlatan. I mean, at least it's on theme. But quite frankly, I'm starting to think it's because this is all total fucking bullshit.
To see if he could find out something of what was going on, for she claimed to be reincarnated.
Well, of course she fucking did. Every wackadoo bullshit artist on the planet is some fucking reincarnation of some such fuck or another. And somehow, it's always someone really famous and important, or at best, just someone who was basically their best friend and now they have a mystical insight into the life of the famouser. You know, I would find this shit more believable if the past life was Kev the goat herder who spent his weekends on the Raz with the boys and never fucking did sweet FA with his life. So basically someone who's exactly like 90% of the people who think they are the reincarnation of Julius Caesar or Queen fucking Elizabeth I. You can't even do the voices right. God blimey, I'm Elizabeth, Queen and shit. See, it's not even that hard.
And he discovered that indeed she was a multiple reincarnation, the most interesting of which was that she was the mother of Mary Magdalene and thus had met Jesus.
Oh, f*** me, of course she was. See, I told you, either famous or famous adjacent. Although I think the famous adjacent thing came along when people started to realise about 50,000 people just so happened to be Alexander the f***ing Great in a previous life somehow. It was just a tad sus. And yeah, obviously, she wasn't just famous adjacent, but f***ing God adjacent. 'Cause why the hell not? No point in putting the brakes on after you already ploughed through the wedding reception, is there? That's how they catch you.
This is all being published this month in a book called The Search for a Soul.
Well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but I think the ending is going to be along the lines of, and they still couldn't find one, 'cause souls don't f***ing reel. At least that's if it's a realistic book. But if it's one of them fantasy books, then anything can go. I mean, you ever heard of The Lord of the Rings? That thing wants you to believe that rings exist? What a wacky concept. Metal doesn't go round the fingers, it goes on your head, dumbass.
You can read an excerpt from it in Ladies' Home Journal, October 1972.
1972? How relevant! Man, I should go pick up my copy right away. Then I can catch up with all the latest goss, like how apparently that Nixon fella has been up to no good. I wouldn't believe it myself, but it's right there, in the f***ing 50 years ago. How does he even remember that far back, for fuck's sake?
All of it is demonic.
Ladies' Home Journal is demonic. I mean, it sounds it, but that's mostly because it sounds like one of those fucking things from the 1950s where everyone in it is either wearing a suit and carrying a briefcase, or a gingham dress and holding some kind of pie. And I can't even get at the pie because it's a stupid picture on paper. Damn you, Ink, you have betrayed me for the last time.
Stearns is a disciple of Edgar Cayce.
Who the fuck is Edgar Cayce? Right, let's see. Edgar Cayce was an American clairvoyant who claimed to channel his higher self while asleep in a trance-like state. Oh, so he was a woo peddler. That tracks. Why have two dipshits in this mess when you can have literally all of them, apparently? Christ, does it ever end?
Who was demonized from childhood and whose writings are the work of demons.
Demonized from childhood? What, like people thought he was bad and pointed at him and said what a bad guy he was, potentially falsely? Because, come on, 3-year-olds are assholes, but it's not like it's their fault. They're still humans, after all. Or did you just turn demonized into, like, an action that makes someone demonic? Because I don't think that's how that word works, mate.
He founded the Association for Research and Enlightenment and now have nearly 1 million followers.
Aw, I want 1 million followers. Maybe I should start talking absolute bullshit. No, not in the way I already do. I mean in a non-funny, kinda sad that anyone believes it kind of way. That then circles around back to being funny again. But then again, I don't think I want any of those people to be my followers. They might take me seriously as an inspiration to live their lives, and nobody wants that. We'll run out of booze.
Many of whom have his little black book with their home cures. Demonic magic. His writing is from the pit.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's just the pit. I mean, all home remedies are. Yeah, sure. You can make yourself feel a bit better with a big pile of lettuce or some shit. I mean, literally, some actual shit. But whatever tiny part of that thing that might actually be doing something helpful, maybe? Yeah, some clever bastards took it all out, turned it into a pill that's like eating 100 shit-stained lettuces without the, eating 100 fucking lettuces. And then it actually having a tangible effect. Personally, I would try that instead.
There are other demonic writers, Ruth Montgomery, Paul Twitchell, L. Ron Hubbard, and this week I've been reading about L. Ron Hubbard.
F***ing L. Ron Hubbard, isn't that the motherfucker who created that wackadoodle religion that idiots follow? Yeah, that's right, he invented, Hubbology, that one from Fallout. Stupid thought a fairground ride was going to take them into space. Instead it just blew up in a freak accident that definitely wasn't my fault. There's no fault when you do something on purpose, right?
Unbelievable. This guy says that at one time, many of us were primeval clams.
Wait, many? So not all of you? That's odd. I mean, the claim thing is, well, probably wrong, but wouldn't necessarily be impossible given enough time and the right forcing, but again, very, very, very unlikely that things progressed that specific way. However, that many word suggests that some people didn't evolve from the same ancestry, which makes even less sense. So if you're being accurate, I'm starting to think that Scientology just isn't very scientific. Sorry, I mean Hubbology. Everyone knows that Scientology is a fine upstanding boy who didn't do nothing.
And he says that if you've got some fears and phobias, it probably is a holdover from when you were a clam. Of course, he says I myself was not a clam. Many are.
I don't know if that's true. I can't find anything that confirms it, but it's funny, so I'll allow it. But you gotta love that laughter of your audience, because it's always hilarious to me when people with extremely silly beliefs laugh at anyone else's. The irony is just so delicious. If I didn't need that stupid food stuff, I'd swear it could sustain me.
Interestingly enough, there's some books that are purported to be written by demons.
You mean you, the man who says that demons write books, have found some books that you believe to have been written by demons? It's almost like that's what you're fucking supposed to do or something. Although, what's the betting that these books were written by, and get this right, people? Fucking people always taking jobs from good, hard-working demons. Bastards.
This is some copies of a page. This is called The Case of Patience Worth.
Copies of a page? Well, that proves it. Everyone knows that the printing press is the work of Satan, so any book that has been copied millions of times is obviously completely evil and should be destroyed. So we should just start with the most copied of all, right? Oh no, it's the Bible! Oh well, no turning back now, burn them all!
This is material written by a demon who perhaps wrote over 30,000 pages of material. Dictated it.
Dictated it. Dick. And perhaps wrote 30,000 pages. Wow, that's not actually that many. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a lot of pages. But if I can write about 4 pages per script, and I have been known to write about 2 in a day, if I'm not feeling lazy, so it doesn't happen very often. But then a demon working 5 days a week with weekends off to go hang out with his demon pals. That means he could knock it out in about 30 years easy. But aren't demons eternal? So what's he doing with the rest of all time? And I thought I was work shy. Also, perhaps he didn't write any, because demons are fake.
To a medium. The cover of the book says, this book differs from every book hitherto issued on a psychic subject. It consists primarily of literature. The problem is how this literature, displaying such knowledge, genius, and versatility of literary expression, philosophic depth, piercing wit, could have originated beginning suddenly one day in the mind of a 31-year-old housewife with an 8th grade education.
Jesus Christ, that was a lot of words. And, what? Why couldn't a housewife write a smart book? I mean, I'm not saying this one did, but to say that a person couldn't educate themselves outside of the school system, or even need it at all and wasn't just gifted. Shit happens all the time. Outside our art. It's a thing.
Where did it come from?
Oh, right, I get it now. You think it's demonic because a woman wrote it. I mean, a woman writing a book. Well, that's obviously demonic witchcraft. Everybody knows all the women's are good for is homemaking and shooting out babies. That's probably not even far off what he actually believes. He does seem the type, not gonna lie.
Here's another title page, and I can't even pronounce the title. Looks like...
You can't read something? Well, I am the shocked. Damn, if you managed to learn to read, well, I guess we can only assume that you must have been demon-possessed. For a man of such limited talent and intellect to be able to read words, it has to be the devil did it. Only thing that makes sense.
Ospi. It says a new Bible, the words of Jehovah and his angel ambassadors. Written by demons.
Wait. A new Bible? Just hold on a minute. What if that's the real Bible? Huh? What if you've been following the wrong one all this time? Did you ever think about that? No, of course. You picked the right one. Because you've never done anything completely f***ing stupid in your life. No. Check out Mr. Perfect over here and his ability to make no mistakes ever. You're full of shit, mate.
Put out by Cosman Press. Here's another one. The History of Man, written by God's Holy Spirit through an earthly medium.
And that one's demonic too, I take it. Wow, it's just super easy, isn't it? I mean, if we allow your God to reel for argument's sake, you don't find it strange that the Bible hasn't had anything happen in hundreds and hundreds of fucking years? That everything just stopped? And especially these days where we can record and verify these things, nothing has shown up. What if God has been trying to talk to you through these people and you are just dismissing them as demons? The look on your face when God kicks your ass for ignoring his voice messages. He's going to be pretty mad. Good job he isn't known for his genocidal tantrums, eh? Because you'd be then, wouldn't you, mate?
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the